Deal is that the NYPD is out there. If a subway car is too crowded, the idea is clear it out, disperse people throughout the train, or get some people off if you have to. If a platform is crowded, disperse people through, or spread them through the platform, or have some people wait outside the station, whatever it takes. Now, I still think we're seeing kind of an uneven reality where we get kind of sporadic reports around overcrowding, and it seems to be in large measure due to the shortages in labor at the MTA and the fact that there's some disruptions on some lines and trains don't come for a while. Doesn't seem to take a consistent shape or in a consistent place. But the plan that the police are working on, or working from, I should say, what they've been doing now for weeks and weeks, is just if you see any instance of overcrowding on a subway car, or on a platform, disperse, break it up, don't allow it to exist. You can't have a crowded subway car and just leave it be. You have to get people off and dispersed throughout the train or to the platform, or whatever will work.
Next, we have Kathleen from Patch.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. I was just wondering if you could provide us some numbers on those surgical masks. How many do we have right now, and how many do we need by the end of the week, and how much, those would cost on today's market?
Yeah, the cost part we can get back to you on, Kathleen. In terms of supply, so surgical masks has actually been, if there's a bright spot in this whole reality, the surgical masks have been the thing we've been able to get the most of, and our supply is good for this week and from what I saw earlier into next week as well. The N95s, which are a higher caliber, if you will, have been harder to get, but again, at least we have a secure supply for this week on that crisis standard. I'll keep emphasizing that crisis standard is what we're working from. So we can get you exact numbers. There's a lot. We need a lot to get through each week. But surgical masks, strong supply, N95, certainly enough to get through this week into next week, and we'll get you a sense of what we're finding we have to pay for these things in the current market.
Next, we have Andrew from NBC.
Mayor, good morning. How are you?
Good, man. How you feel?
Hanging in there. Question about the large public events. You mentioned this morning that when you spoke to organizers, particularly of Pride and the Puerto Rican Day Parade, that they're interested in postponing. But given the size of these events, you're talking hundreds of thousands, maybe 1 million or more people. Realistically, can those events happen in calendar year 2020?
Andrew, they might. I mean, this one, it's a great question. I think, again, for all of us sports fans, we're asking this question, can, our leagues come back in 2020 at all? I think this is an area where we don't know yet. I'm taking what I think is a cautious, steady approach to how we reopen New York City. But, and we have to always plan on the worst case scenarios. We have to protect ourselves. But there's also, better case scenarios that could come along and could get proven that might open up possibilities for later on, late in the summer, going into the fall. There may be opportunities. So I think what was clear was the event organizers really, and to the folks, Salute to Israel Parade, the Puerto Rican Parade, Pride, very consistently, there was a concern for the health and safety of all of the people who come to join these gatherings. That was their central concern. And they knew that it would be very hard for a lot of people to feel comfortable, and it just didn't make sense to have them in this environment. But I think everyone does want to consider, from what I've heard, the option of going and looking at opportunities, late in the summer or into the fall. And we'll know a lot more in the coming weeks, according to these indicators I go over each day, and how we see this disease act and how we all act. So I certainly don't rule it out, Andrew. I think it is a possibility. And every organization will make their own choices, and we will know a lot more as we get through the next few weeks.
Next, we have Henry.